the G World 7_D. And I have this book right here, One World, One America, Tartarians and Moors. Alright? Now, I'm not going to make this a real long video, but I want to hit on a few points. Alright, I already showed you the original image of King James of Britain and Scotland. Alright? I'm going to go, what page I'm going to go to? So like 143. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to go to this page right here. No, this one right here. You have to do some focusing. And I'm going to show you Puma Punka. Alright? You see this? Now you see these H-block pyramids, H-block structures. You find this also over in Nubia, what is Sudan, modern day Sudan. These H-block pyramids or structures are older here in Puma Punka than they are over in Africa. All right, these H-block structures, they're older. I'm gonna go. Here's another image showing the way the H-block structures. Like I said, you find this over in Sudan by those pyramids in Sudan. All right. I'm going to read a few things. Obviously, the Olmec heads. Now, some of these goofy white scholars say they're the same damn person, but at a different age. Whatever. But when you look at these are obviously Negroes. Now, you see some people with some of these physical traits, they obviously have Negro mixed in them. Okay, this is obvious, okay? All these really obvious. But you still have Negroes who call themselves conscious on YouTube or TikTok would tell you that Van Sertima have been debunked and this isn't true, that these people weren't black. Obviously, were so-called black people, Aboriginal black people. But only an idiot would tell you something different, man, who haven't done no real research. All right? Now, here we go. They were giants. There are more pyramids in North America than all of Egypt combined. The pyramids in the Americas are all step pyramids. Which the earliest pyramids in Egypt were step pyramids, which were the world's first pyramids. If we could include the pyramid in Central and South America, it's not even a contest anymore. As far as who has the most pyramids between the East and the West, the oldest and biggest pyramids are in the Americas. The Great Cholula Pyramid is the biggest pyramid in the world. Its dimensions are 400 by 400 meters and has a total volume of 4.45 million cubic meters. Almost twice that of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Cholula Pyramid is also a step pyramid, so we are dealing with a very ancient pyramid. Because step pyramids were the first pyramids, the mound builders were also known as the Washita, Moors, Mars, and considered the oldest indigenous people on the earth. According to the United Nations, first born among continents, America has been falsely denominated the New World, and America's not the New World. Hers was the first dry land lifted out of the waters. Hers were the first shores washed by the ocean that enveloped all the earth besides. And while Europe was represented only by islands rising here and there above the sea, America, Atlantis already stretched in an unbroken line of land from Nova Scotia, get that name, to the far west. Evidence to support the fact that the Mayas are the ancestors of the Egyptians can be found in the tomb of Maya, temple of the Maya in Egypt, because there is a Maya on the wall that is dressed in Kemetic Egyptian garb. Now, I said before in one of my videos how Maya was the spiritual priest coming over to Egypt, watching over the proceedings. Maya was also the wet nurse, the vizier. They were a very important person in the Egyptian pharaoh's government being ran. Maya was an important person because Maya was a teacher coming from the other land. And the other land was America, the land across the water. Alright? Going even further. I'm showing this image right here. And I seen a brother in the street recently. This is the ancient Mayan, and this is the shepherd, NBA basketball player, former NBA basketball player. Look at this. Shepherd and a Mayan. Obviously, it's a Negro, man. It's not even up for debate, really. And this is the modern day brother, NBA player. Ancient Mayan, NBA player. Knows a similar hairstyle. Look at these Negroes protruding lips. Yeah, but you get people who call themselves conscious will tell you that we're stealing other people's history. What a coon. Alright? And that's why I always say to stop listening to these boule Negroes because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Unfortunately, they've been compromised. And they're just very ignorant. And they really continue to show their ignorance to our people. And this is why it's so important that we need to continue to study our true history. And I'm going to skip it on a little bit in this book because I'm not going to read all of this. You know, some of this information is good, but I may read this right here. You can get it. For the principles that guided their day-to-day conduct, many First Nations share a value system similar to seven grandfathers' teaching of the Anishinaabe peoples. These teachings stress wisdom, love, respect, bravery, honesty, humility, and truth as the values that enable people to live in a way that promotes harmony and balance with everyone and everything in creation. A Book of Beginning by English poet and Egyptologist Gerald Massey. He had written several great books. He tells us that this name for the land lying northwest of Africa, center always reckoning from the south, would deposit the name of the Morai land, Maryland, Marika, a duplicate form, and Morocco, as a Morai or Moors went further north into Spain. From these and other data may be drawn the inference that the Morai people were self-named as the immigrants who came from the northwest. One name which Maru, Egyptian, Muru, Moro, or Miru. Gerald Massey further states that the Morai name is that of the later Moors, of a land under the Tropic of Cancer and northwest of the equator, as well as Ethiopia, the typical birthplace. And the name of the Moors found in Egyptian mummies is written Morai or Morui. The original Morai dwelt in northwestern land lying between the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, and their name is identifiable with that of the Morai, whose traditions derive them from the northwest. Okay, we'll go and read further. We'll go further down here. Alright, a little bit right here. The original American Moors were likely Islamic. Islam was in America and had a big influence on America because you have a total of 565 names. I mentioned this before. 484 in America, 81 in Canada, of villages, towns, cities, mountains, lakes, rivers, etc. are etymologically Arabic, which were designated by locals long before the arrival of Columbus, the Moor. Many of these names are in fact the same as names of Islamic places: Mecca in Indiana, Medina in Idaho, Medina in New York, Medina in Hazen in North Dakota, Medina in Ohio, Medina in Tennessee, Medina in Texas, Medina in Arva in Ontario, Mohammed in Illinois, Mona in Utah are just a few noticeable names at the outset. A closer analysis of names of native tribes will immediately reveal their Arabic etymological ancestry. Anasazi, Apache, Arawak, Arcana, Chauvin, Cherokee, Cree, Hohokam, Hoopa, Hopi, Mecca, Mohican, Mohawk, Nazca, Zulu, and Zuni. Zulu and Zuni are only a few. Islam was everywhere in the Americas. One just had to look for it, because you can see the evidence from Queen Khalifa, California. Queen Khalifa, California, to Alabama, Alabama, to Tallahassee, to Tallahassee, to Medina, Ohio, to Moortown, New Jersey, to Islamorada, Florida, and to Alhambra, California. So yes, Muslims have left a big impact on America. Yeah, also Timbuktu in California. So, okay. What happened to Berbers, Saracens, Muslims of the Americas? Well, have you ever heard of the Spanish Inquisition via the Dum Diveris of 1452, issued by the Pope, authorizing Christians to enslave Saracens and non-believers and to take their lands because no one disappeared? It's just that everyone has become ignorant. There are over 500 cities and towns in the United States named after Muslims, and a huge part of Europe as well. The textbooks, his story, and education today are manipulated. Therefore, Western academics will not get us out of our deep sleep, because Western academics is the institution that has put we the people, the Lenape Moors, Washita, to sleep to begin with. All right, I'm going to go further down. Here's a picture of an Aboriginal black of the Americas. All right. I've shown that picture before. But I'm going to go further over. Oh, here's a picture of the coat of arms of ancient Hawaii. Okay, there was a Negroes too, man. okay, these are all Negroes, man. These are not, I'm going to read this part. These are not no Caucasians or, quote, Mongoloid people. So we're not stealing nothing. This is originally our history, our culture here. There's very different types of so-called black people here in the Americas. Originating from the West, the Moor comes from the Orient, the Far East. What is also interesting is that the Oriental means Western scholar who studies Islam, according to the book Orientalism by Edward Said. Islam came from the Orient. Additionally, if you read subsection 4 of this Delaware law, it will tell you that the Lenape Indians were formerly known as Moors. Lenape were Delaware Moors originally. However, the word Lenape means we the people, the preamble of the U.S. Constitution, or true people. Lenape also means serpent, dragon, naga, nigga. Likewise, Indian names like Sioux and Dakota also mean serpent or dragon, because the Moors, Indians, named themselves after the serpent wisdom that they worshipped when Moors ruled the world. But where does Islam come from? Did it come from Mecca, California, Medina, Indiana, Mecca, Indiana, or Morocco, Indiana? Did it come from the Sufism, Sophia, which was the science that comes from India? Do all religions come from India, superior, in the Americas? Now I'm going to basically stop there, because my main thing is to emphasize that so-called Negroes were already here. Because you continue to have, like I always say, there's very different type of black people that was over here, Aboriginal people that was over here. But you continue to have Negroes who want to continue to tell you you're just a slave from Africa. And these Negroes call themselves conscious, and they appear on TikTok and YouTube saying the dumbest things, man. And unfortunately, some of them are actually professors and educators in the school system, whether college or high school, whatever. Do not listen to these Negroes. Please do not listen to them. Your history goes beyond slavery. And I said before, most of these Negroes don't know what they're talking about because they haven't put in the work or the study. Your information is right there in your face. Our true history is right there in your face. But we've been conditioned and told that we just came over here as slaves when we were all the way over here. And I've said that over and over again. All right? I talked about the many different step pyramids in America compared to the step pyramid in Egypt. I talked about the Grand Canyon and all that. I talked about that. All right? And how these so-called Egyptians, so many temples over the Grand Canyon named after ancient Egypt. There's a reason for that, because the ancient Egyptians were in the Grand Canyon, over the Grand Canyon. But you got Negroes who try to dismiss this, and so that tells me that they're very ignorant, or they're just being very manipulating and just flat out liars, and they're being very destructive, and they're being an enemy to our people, and want to continue to lie to our people. We're going to have to basically get in these study groups to do the full research and to really get our true history, because we've been totally lied to. And when you listen to these Negroes, these boule Negroes, because that's what most of them are, they want to continue to have you asleep. They want to continue to keep you a slave. They want to continue to have you remain ignorant. And that's what these Negroes are about. Now, I've showed you images. This was Cheops Pyramid, Isis Temple, Shiva's Temple, over in the Grand Canyon. All right. But like I said, these Negroes want you to remain ignorant. They want you to remain stupid. They want you to remain dumb. They don't want you to realize that there's so many structures that was carved. There were so many rock structures that was carved into using iron that our Aboriginal ancestors did, or they basically carved into. They cut into. NBA basketball player, ancient America. This is so obvious, man. This is the ancient form of so-called basketball. Not James Naismith, the Canadian, but this is, I believe this is Ben Wallace, and an ancient black man of America. Little dwarf type brother of America. This information is right in front of your face, man. It cannot be denied. All right, when you do the research, it's in your face. It's in your face, but it's up to you if you want to learn it. We cannot continue to listen to these individuals who just want to believe that you're a slave from Africa, and that's all you are. All right? T-O-T who I can. T-O-T who I can. T-O-T who I can. T-O-T who I can. T-Hootie. T-Hootie. All right? This is the structure here. This is the Vatican City. America, the structure, the pyramid there, in the Vatican City. You see the similarity, man. Don't you see the similarity? Don't you see the similarity? Because all this technology comes from my ancient Aboriginal Negro ancestors, man. Look at the steps in this pyramid. Ancient observatories, structures. And I showed this before in another book. It says right here, look at it, Mayan observatory, tower to the heavens. And I said that before. How they use these different structures so they look at the stars, they glaze at the stars. Mayan astronomy is the study of the moon, planets, Milky Way, sun, and astronomical phenomena that pre-Columbian Mayan civilizations of Mesoamerica. So our ancestors were doing all this studying in the stars. So they weren't just some stupid idiots, backwards idiots who did not know anything. They had a great, high, advanced civilization. And they traveled around the world by boats, ships. And that's why I showed you a picture of Angkor Wat, a face carved into rock. Just like you see rock carved with the Olmecs. Black people, so-called black people, did that around the world globally. So when you get people who call themselves conscious, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and then try to deny this, is insulting. And it's really sad that our people they've been misguided by Negro individuals who have some type of title behind their name. We got to have to stop this, man. We're going to have to continue to do the research and gather up this information, because this information's there. I told you before that the original Pope, the first Pope of Saint Sylvester I, was a Negro, and all them damn popes were black. Originally, all of them were black. All right, so this information is in your face, but you're going to have to study and want to receive it and want to get it. Our ancestors built great civilizations globally. So we got to stop this mess that we just brought over here on a slave ship. That we came over here in a slave ship. And that we're descendants of African slaves. That's a lie. We are descendants of the Aboriginal black people who built this global civilization all over the world, but particularly in America. And this is China right here. Those pyramids over in China. So this is a technology that our ancestors did globally. They did this stuff globally. Okay, this one is not China. This is over here is the China ones. And these are the ones in Bosnia. So this stuff, we did that all over the damn planet. Alright? We did this stuff all over the planet. So you got to stop listening to Pan-Africans tell you that you're a slave from Africa, man. That's distorted and bad information. And it's not being, we're not hating ourselves by acknowledging this. We're taking pride of what our ancestors built and what they started. So don't listen to these goofballs who claim that they know what's best for us and we're supposed to be ignorant to our true history. All right? See that this little shape right here, dome shape, the needle. I showed you that before with the Aztecs in my other videos. The Aztecs had this design, man. All this stuff is stolen. All this architectural design was really created by us. It was stolen from us by outsiders. It was stolen from us. So we really need to take pride in who we are, take a love in who we are, and understand who we are, know our true image. All right. In ancient Egypt, I told you before, you had best hairs of the Mayas with the tongue sticking out. With the tongue sticking out. All right, so brothers and sisters, I just want to make that quick video to emphasize something real quick. This basically tell you that the original people in America were so-called Negroes, and most of us weren't brought over no shit from Africa. We was already here. All right, we were already here. We weren't brought over no shit from no Africa because we already were here. All right, brothers and sisters, peace and love. Out.